Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Scrollies podcast. It is I, Sqat Cobbler, coming at you once again with my co-host.
Hey, it's Ratnado from twitch.tv/Team Ratnado.
And today we're going to be going through our own personal preferences when it comes to all-time video game characters.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be exciting to get into. But before we do that, Ratnado, tell me, what was the first character that you can recall playing in a video game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like Mario or something. I think some of my earliest memories were Super Mario World. So, of gaming in general, I mean.
Very nice. My first video game character that I can recall playing was from the first video game that I remember playing. Don't know which entry exactly, but I know the series. It was a little purple dragon named Spyro on the PlayStation 1. If any of you can help me narrow down this lifelong mystery, it involves flying around a open hub world with a big dragon in the middle. So if that narrows it down at all, that's going off young Squat's first gaming memory. So help a fella out here.
Wow, that's actually, we may never figure that out. That's a really big mystery, honestly.
It's I'm sure there's at least a few dragons in Spyro that could fit the bill there. So it may just be something that I never get resolved in life. But I could always try that out myself in Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, which is what I have been playing here and there in my off time.
Ooh, fancy! Wait, really? When did you get it?
I got it earlier last year. It's not something I'm like playing super seriously. It's just like every now and then I'll fire it up. But Spyro, I think of the 90s collectathons, is probably the one that aged the best.
Right.
I mean, Mario 64, obviously a classic, but there's definitely some accessibility issues there and some old game jank present since it was the very first. But Spyro, I think, kept it simple, kept it fun to control. Worlds are pretty small, so yeah, check out the Reignited trilogy. I'm sure the Crash Bandicoot one is good too. I got that as well, but I have not tried that one out yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember getting that on PlayStation 3 through PlayStation Network, like the Spyro games. I remember getting pretty far into it in like one day and then just never playing it again.
It's serviceable for a day of entertainment. But maybe it'll hook you a little more than that, folks. All right, so enough about Spyro. Ratnado, what have you been playing offline lately?
Actually, I've been replaying Onimusha on and off. As you may know, some of you may know, I did a race against the Grey Mitzi a couple weeks back, and I don't know, something about it. I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and I've been playing it on Switch a little bit more. So that, Hollow Knight, and Strangers of Paradise. So good times.
Never one to rest on your laurels. You never know when the rematch may come about and Mitzi takes the crown once more. So he's keeping fresh on his Onimusha skills, everyone.
I might be coming for Grey Mitzi, so watch out.
Oh no. Number 3, speedrun.com. Here we go, Grey Mitzi. All right. So enough about Onimusha, enough about Spyro, Ratnado. Let's talk about our top 5 favorite video game characters. We can go 5-1, trading off as we go through this list. I think it's only fitting that I go first, considering this character, this series, was the icebreaker when I first entered your chat.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Of course. The first line, definitely.
That's the first ever Sqat Cobbler chat in the Team Ratnado channel. Not nearly as iconic as "Hi, how are you today?" Shout out Scorpion Medusa, but it led to Scrollies, folks, all this time later.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the one, the only Solid Snake. There are many snakes in Metal Gear, but Solid Snake is the one that I consider my favorite. Reason for this being, naturally, he's the one that I played in Brawl.
Right.
As with all video game series that I got into that weren't Mario, Donkey Kong, my childhood favorites. No, Super Smash Bros. Brawl was the gateway to all these new worlds of Metal Gear, Metroid, Zelda, and perhaps even some yet to come. So it was Brawl that introduced me to Snake. I thought he was super cool. I thought he was, he was tough. He threw around grenades in this game where you play as Kirby and Yoshi, and I thought that was pretty edgy as a young monk. But it wasn't until 2020 when I played Metal Gear Solid that I got introduced to the proper Solid Snake.
Yeah, you even had your own Master Miller, aka Doobie Teen. Rest in peace.
I had my own Master Miller that, spoiler alert, wasn't who he claimed.
No way. Doobie Teen as a double agent? How's that possible? I can't see that.
I can't believe I didn't see it coming. The entire time he was sitting next to me telling me to press the right buttons at the right time, and yet it was all in service of himself and his ulterior motives. Well, rest in peace, Doobie Teen. He can't hurt me now. He got Fox died.
Yeah, he got Fox died, and he's out at Del Taco now. Buried, I should say.
Pay your respects next time you're there, folks. But Metal Gear, not every game you play is Solid Snake. In fact, it's only 2 in the Metal Gear Solid series that you play as that iteration of the character. There's Metal Gear Solid 1, and then Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. I have played both of these games, and neither one of them are my favorite, ironically enough. my favorite being Metal Gear Solid 3, where Solid Snake does not make an appearance whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. But, I think we're not going to count that against him. I think the character of Solid Snake, he's a man who's seen a lot of action. He's tried to retire from this life, but he keeps getting called back in because, it's just the right thing to save the world again and again and have no happy ending for it.
Ugh.
What a hero. He wouldn't claim that title, but folks, I'm 07-ing Solid Snake right now. You can't see it, but I am.
I do want to point out for everyone listening at home, we also wrote down what we thought the others, kind of a March Madness of ourselves. And we'll get to that at the end, but I'm just going to say I'm really excited for the ending because I think I'm going to nail this. We'll see.
Oh boy, all right. He's 1 for 5 so far, everyone. Let's see if I have such luck. Ratnado, please, by all means, who is your number 5 video game character?
You know what's kind of crazy? And I don't know if this is fair. Tell me if this is fair. But I put all snakes because Shrexa has kind of made me realize they all are kind of the same thing genetically, right?
Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Naked Snake, Regular Snake, Big Papa Snake, Raiden Snake, Snake, Second Solid Snake, Second Liquid Snake, Viscous Snake, the Diet Snake, Sugar-Free Snake, Fat-Free Snake, Insulated Snake, Legume Snake, Fully Clothed Snake.
They all come from the legendary soldier Big Boss. But does that make them all the same man? No.
But if that's not fair, then I would probably go with... It's hard because I want to put Solid Snake up there too, but I'm going to put Big Boss. Just because Big Boss has a little more personality to me. I think he's a little funnier. And, that's what... I mean, Snake is probably like number 7 or 8. Solid Snake, that is. So, we actually matched up on number 5.
Oh, we both have snakes. So we're both fans of slithering reptiles and smoking soldiers / spies.
That sneak around. That's a difference though. If you play, everyone who's played Metal Gear Solid 3, you know what I'm talking about. Big Boss, he's just a little more personable.
He smiled as he was looking through binoculars at folks he was going to beat up.
Yeah, he's going to shoot down some hornets on them.
That's pretty personable. Yeah, I can relate to that. What?
Yeah, I've done that before. No, I think he's great. I think that kind of like, so I really do like Solid Snake. I want to make that very clear that I do like Solid Snake, but I think Big Boss, there's just something, he's a little more something.
A little more something. Well, you got to give us a little more than that. What makes Big Boss take the cake over Mr. David Solid Snake?
David Hayter. I've had David Hayter respond to a tweet of mine, so I just want to put that out there.
Oh my gosh. Highlight of your life right there.
Highlight of my life, honestly, almost a little bit. But no, I think the big thing that to me is that 3 isn't my favorite game. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is my favorite game. So it's kind of weird that I would like Big Boss so much, but kind of just the path he takes. Those of you who know the game, he becomes a very complex character. And I love Solid Snake, but I think I put Big Boss just a little bit higher. If I have to make that decision in this moment, just because of that. He's a little more complex. He does some more stuff, and his story is kind of interlinks with all the snakes. So
he definitely changes a lot more throughout the series than Solid Snake does. I wouldn't quite call Solid a static character, but he definitely goes through the same routine of, he's been to war, he's seen it all, he retires to get away from it, but then he's called back in. And Big Boss, starts out pretty idealistic, right?
Yeah.
He has hopes, he has loyalties, but then, through the course of his life, he's just betrayed and sent down this path where he's a very different man by the time we last see him than when we first meet him in Snake Eater.
Yep, very much demoralized, disillusioned, and that's kind of an interesting arc. Those of you that have played Peace Walker, Portable Ops, those types of things, you know what I'm talking about. And even where the series ends up going gets even crazier. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't played those games yet. So maybe once I do, Mr. Solid Snake will be knocked down to number 7 as well. But enough about that. Let's move on to number 4.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
My number 4 is the one, the only... Oh, wait. Oh no, there's like dozens of them. It's Link, everyone. It's the hero of Hyrule.
Oh!
In all of his many different iterations.
My first upset. Dang it.
If I had to say, there are Links that I like. There are Links that I'm indifferent to. But I think, what's great about Link is he's a blank slate. You can pretty much apply whatever personality you want to him. But at the end of the day, he's a hero. He's a hero saving the day. It's, like the ultimate wish fulfillment, the ultimate role playing. You're taking on the shoes of a young up and comer who no one really sees much in. He's just this little kid, or he's a young man, and destiny calls upon him to take on more responsibility and become courageous, to become the one that Hyrule needs. If I was to say my top Links, I'd probably go with Wind Waker. Naturally, he's so expressive. He's just a little kid. He's a little boy wearing his birthday PJs, and he's got a pretty relatable motive. He's going to save his sister. That's it. He doesn't care about the whole world. He just has a very personal stake in the matter. But throughout that game, he discovers more about what's going on in his ocean and some of the history behind that. And he becomes more than when he started out.
Yeah.
Additionally, he gets the rep as being the edgy Link, but Twilight Princess Link, I think, he's a sweet little guy at the end of the day. He's real buff. He likes to wrestle goats and Gorons, and that's pretty cool. But he cares about these little village kids. And he's riding into town to save the day. When they get kidnapped by an ugly ogre on a boar.
Yeah.
Great timing there. And last but not least, Breath of the Wild Link. He may have a bad memory, but he's got some great strats when it comes to going out of his way to collect flowers when Zelda's been locked in a battle for 100 years with Ganon.
I mean, she's waited 100 years. She could wait a few more minutes.
She can wait another few months or so. Yeah, let's just go around and mess around with this physics.
Yeah, I guess though in this case though, like Reliant K fans, Princess Zelda, she's waiting 104 years at this point.
Oh, going on 5, yeah. Actually, yeah, we're 5 years into the Switch, so perhaps she'll be there forever, keeping Ganon at bay. But that's okay because Korok seeds, they need collecting.
They do. That's very true. That's interesting. I mean, I think when it comes to Link, I always think of the most expressive ones, which to me are Wind Waker and also Skyward Sword. I think a little more emotive, have a little more personality, especially that Wind Waker area. They really give Link a lot of expressions. You can tell kind of what he's thinking. And that's kind of why I thought when I think of Link, I just he's kind of a blank space though for you to project upon. But I guess there's stuff there. He has things he wants, things he cares about, and they show that.
Definitely. I didn't name Skyward Sword because I'm not a fan of the design. I'm sorry. It's the big lips. It's the baggy khaki pants. I'm like, it's fine. Like, I think some of the best character arcs are in that game. Groose, for example, Zelda, even Impa to some extent. But, you know, the Link in that, I'm like, he's whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's fair. Sqat, are you ready for my number 4?
I'm ready. I'm gonna see how my list continues to play out.
Well, I think, I'm not going to give any hints away, actually. Number 4, Fox McCloud.
Gee, I've been saved by Fox. How swell.
That was the alert when I followed Team Ratnado. Not Fox, it was Falco, but
Falco.
Fox was mentioned in that alert. Back in Cute-Vember 1, and a little after that. Tell me, what is it about Fox McCloud? And is this the N64 iteration, or does it go all the way back to the first one as well?
No, this is definitely N64. That whole thing about it, I got to find the article again, and I'll share it with people. But there was this whole article about how they wrote that. And it kind of just matched like the ethos of the time, that it was sort of a focus on... I'm not going to get too into it. There's a specific thing they talk about in Japanese with the writing of it, that they were trying to make it cool, essentially. It was kind of a little bit like the Michael Bay, you know, a little bit of like style over substance. A little bit. But then there's also something about it about being kind of like a little bit goofy and theatrical.
We need your help, Star Fox. Andros has declared war. He's invaded the Lilat system and is trying to take over Corneria. Our army alone can't do the job. Hurry, Star Fox.
They need to say stuff that sounds cool, but also it's still like kid friendly.
Oh, sure.
And so that version of Fox to me is just like that's very indicative of like what I thought was cool growing up. A lot of people thought other things were cool, you know, sports, athletes, maybe movies, maybe other game characters like Sonic, Mario, and stuff. And I think Fox to me was always kind of like pretty cool idea of like a laconic and focused and, you know, all those types of things that go into that. And it's just like all that music to me. I think that's why Fox kind of sticks with me even now. It's like one of my favorite characters. I play Star Fox 64 every once in a while on stream, and on my own I play it too.
As we go throughout the Star Fox games in the 2000s and onward, you're just playing the Star Fox 64 game again and again, so naturally.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the animated segments in Star Fox Zero?
They were fine. I kind of in the same thing of like how I feel about a lot of things now. Do what you want with them, because I still have my Star Fox 64 version.
Very true, very true. So long as you have your Nintendo Online subscription, because there's no other way to play it.
Nope. No.
As we covered in our episode a few weeks back on Legacy Content.
I still have the cartridge and the Star Fox 3D.
Oh, you have it
DS.
forever then. Forever and ever.
It'll never go
That
away.
into old age.
That cartridge will last until the end of time. Until the death of the universe, Sqat.
That's going to be the last remnant of human civilization, is your own personal copy of Star Fox 64.
This is Fox, returning to base.
Should we move it on to number 3? My number 3 is Samus Aran. Who saw this coming? It just came out of left field, everyone. Never would have guessed it.
Oh.
Yes, Samus Aran, and I'm obviously referring to the other M version.
Yeah.
I think that was the best characterization of Samus. No, if we want to say Link's a blank slate, you can apply whatever you want onto him. Samus is sort of the opposite in the sense that she's very expressionless. She's literally in her suit for the majority of the game. You don't usually see her face. You can't usually see her emote. But the body language, especially in some of the recent games like Samus Returns and Dread, and even back in the Pixel ones. There's a great YouTube channel called Video Game Animation Study, and they do a ton of videos on the Metroid games and how so much is just communicated in them, in the environment, in the background, and in the animations of the characters, of the sprites.
Yeah, especially in the deaths, right? Chunky Cat's all about those Samus deaths.
You're getting the full display of who Samus is in her dying moments, with a shriek to boot. No, Samus is so cool, everyone. She once again another character that I was introduced to in Brawl. I was playing Subspace Emissary. Some lady in a blue spandex suit came through the ceiling, and I thought, what the heck? Who's this? Turns out that it was Zero Suit Samus without her robot power armor that you'd get later in the game. And at that moment, I knew that I was going to get Super Metroid for 30 cents several years later, and the rest would be history.
Thank you, Brawl.
Thank you, Brawl. She's so sure of herself. She's so ready to face any fight, to the point that by Dread, she just doesn't even care. She has no craps given, you know. Oh, look, an old enemy shows up that I remembered and fought, you know, what, like 3 times now? Boom, just gonna shoot you in the mouth. Oh, yeah. What's this? You're gonna reveal something about my past, my backstory, and how you are. No, okay, I'm just gonna.
As somebody who still hasn't played through Dread, all my non-Dread players are out here like,
It's still within a year, everyone. But I want those who haven't experienced Dread yet to experience it, because hey, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
But that's my number 3, Samus Aran. She says so much while saying so little, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that that's one thing I think I took away, and I may not be reading it right from anything I've ever seen of the Metroid games. She's a mercenary first and foremost. She kind of does what she wants, and sometimes that aligns with something you would say is good, lawful good. That's not the only reason she's doing it, though.
Oh yeah, you know, it's not all for the money, but the money's a nice bonus on top.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty neat, pretty cool. So far, I have 2 exactly right and in the right position.
Oh, all right. Well, that's bonus points right there. So let's see if I fare as well. Ratnado, your number 3.
Princess Zelda.
Wow, man, Zelda above Link. Presumably, I guess we'll see what remains. But now, do you have, much as I had my preferred versions of Link, do you have a preferred version of Zelda?
Yeah, I would have to go with Breath of the Wild version. However, the one from Spirit Tracks is pretty high up.
That was the latest one you've played, Cutember 2. And it's pretty high praise considering you didn't finish nor, I think, really enjoy that gameplay.
It was fun for the first, 5 or 6 hours. And then after that, it just got so obtuse. It took so long that I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to finish the game. And a good game should never have you thinking that.
No. And DS controls on a home console is it's going to be a little rough, inevitably.
Yeah. Specifically, though, Princess Zelda version of Breath of the Wild, I think they finally gave her some actual personality. She's a little bit more in depth.
It seems I'm the only one with a mind of my own.
For example, the Ocarina of Time. What is her personality there?
She's really good at seeing an evil man for being evil.
Yeah.
When he's obviously evil.
And really good at, I guess that's about it, really.
Yeah, and really good at dress up and disguising.
Oh, that's actually pretty true. Yeah, she's pretty good at cross-dressing. I'll give her that. Okay, well, she's just moved up a little bit. Now she's at, 50. No, but I think specifically with Breath of the Wild, she has doubts. You got to learn more about her. You can tell that and she kind of gets the opportunity to do really good stuff. You get to see her fail at things. You get to see how she responds to things going well. And specifically that Zelda. I think it just has a lot of depth, and I really like her. I like the voice acting. And I think that's what Zelda specifically needs more of that, in my opinion. I've played Age of Calamity, which has a lot of voice acting, and it's great. I think the direction they're going with the Breath of the Wild is really fun, really fresh, and really new.
Well, considering Zelda was exclusively voice acted in Breath of the Wild, I think you'll be in good luck for how much she's going to be in Breath of the Wild too. I mean, there's no doubt we're going to be able to, accompany her for the majority of that game, and you won't have to worry about having her stuck away somewhere else.
We might even get to play as her. I'm just saying, you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be real exciting when that comes about, and that's going to be the first time it's ever happened in the whole series. This podcast is going to age incredibly well.
Never. This will not come to pass.
Yeah. Number 3, Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Fantastic. Well, number 2, let's see if you got this one. Arthur Morgan of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh. I'm 4 for 4, but not the position.
Okay. Arthur Morgan, so here's the thing. And I knew this going into it, so this isn't like it was a huge shock to me or anything. But when Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced, I hadn't played any of the Red Dead games. I had played some GTA, probably GTA 5 and maybe GTA 4 at that point. I haven't finished either of those. GTA is it's good old fun, but it's a grind in story mode and especially online. But Red Dead Redemption, I had heard nothing but great things about the character of John Marston from Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
And how everyone loved him so much that when he was announced to be in Red Dead Redemption 2, but not as the main playable character, people were upset, swearing the game was going to suck. But there's no way that this new guy who wasn't even talked about in Red Dead Redemption 1, considering 2 is a prequel to it, there's no way that this guy could be, comparable to John Marston.
Yeah.
And then the game came out, and people said not only is he comparable, he might be better.
Wow.
So I knew that going into Red Dead Redemption 2. I played it a little bit when it released on PS4. I didn't own that console, but my brother did, so...
Shout out that PS4 guy.
Shout out that guy. Now that PS5 guy, he has secured one, folks. He didn't have to scalp either. He's able to get it from a retail store by camping out overnight like it was the 2000s. I picked it up a year later when it came out on PC, and I definitely didn't blow through it. I took my sweet time playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. It was about 2 years from start to finish, from the first mission all the way to the end of the epilogue. And I'll tell you what, Arthur Morgan, he's a bad cowboy, but I made him a good man. He had such an incredible character arc. If you played that game, If you haven't yet, what are you doing? Fire it up. It's worth it.
And always rely on it, boy.
He's nice to his horse. He's mean to bad men. And you can make him a rotten cowboy to his core and just a horrible human being. But I'd say it's one of the few games where not only are you encouraged not to be a bad person and to do the right thing in a Rockstar game of all things, but that's communicated to you outside even the main missions. One of the most impactful moments in Red Dead Redemption 2 for me happened not in a mission, but in the overworld when I just decided to rob a train because I wanted to make a little extra money. So I blew up the engine, I shot the conductor, I started going through the cabs, and everyone was saying, "Why are you doing this? Oh, please don't hurt me." And when you go through enough cabs, that starts to wear on you a little as a person, you
Wow.
think maybe I am the bad guy. And then, not only that, but in the story mode, some things happen that make you reflect on the things you've done, and how maybe there's still time to turn over a new leaf. And if there's one takeaway that Arthur Morgan and Red Dead Redemption 2 taught me, it's that it's never too late to do the right thing. And it brings a little tear to my eye when I think about it.
Well, he is crying. Those are actual tears. Wow. I didn't know you felt that strongly about him. I could have put him up higher. But I did get that. I still only played it a little bit.
Hey, I'm not gonna encourage anyone to rush through it because it is a heavy game. Like I said, it took me 2 years. About a year and a half of that was just because it got real sad near the end. So
yeah,
it's not enjoyable in the way that a lighthearted game you could just breeze through would be, but it's worth every second in my opinion. So whenever you get through Ratnado, I'd be more than happy to talk about it in its entirety.
All right, my number 2. This probably isn't a surprise to anybody. Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII.
Wow, considering she's your first non-rat, non-cat emote, I'd say this was pretty easy to predict.
Yeah, pretty easy. Well, she's up there, and I thought about that. I was like, I guess the more I thought about it, the more I just kept bumping her up. And it's crazy because Final Fantasy VI is definitely a much better game to me, in my opinion. And I like those characters so much, but those all hit maybe top 10. And so they're just off this list. And as far as just I don't know, was even back then on PlayStation was a very complex character. She wasn't quite as simple as other characters. There was things about her that she's a little bit more lively. She likes to tease. She likes to joke around. She's not scared, but she's also not, shy or timid. Even though she's kind of just seems like a character who, again, kind of like what I said about Zelda, just this really filled out, really realistic character to me. Somebody that's interesting, and they have their faults. It's not like a lot of other characters where they're not allowed to have faults. They have to be very perfect, very princess-like or whatever. And I even had that thing with Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, that's right, Nomura. I'm calling you out. Where he took Aerith and kind of reduced her to just this very stereotypical, quiet, demure princess-type character. That's not her. That's not Aerith.
I'm not some princess who needs to be coddled.
She's funny. She's smart. She likes to joke around and tease, and just a great character. All around a great design. And those who know, right? She's a tragic character too.
If you know, you know. I think just about everyone on Earth knows, but
I was gonna say just about everybody knows. It's like, oh, I see dead people at this point.
Ratnado, as you know well, I have not played Final Fantasy VII Remake or the original. However, there may have been a point in my past, in my YouTube search history. Oh, he's making a face. He doesn't like where this is going. That I watched Wholesome Aerith Moments compilation.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
She seemed like a cutie pie, and her voice actress is actually a Twitch streamer.
Yep. Brianna White.
Brianna White. So shout out Brianna White. I even watched her react to some of the gameplay, and she was loving Aerith because obviously she would, as the voice actress and as a appreciator of good characters.
I want to do a shout out to Strange Verbal Gaming. If anybody knows her, if anyone says, I would love to interview her, and I'll even do my Strange Rebel Gaming impression, which is, "Hey there, friends." There's my Brianna. There it is. I think I could also voice Aerith if I needed to.
That sounded spot on. I thought you just played a sound effect there. That's amazing. Scrollies listeners, don't harass anyone, but if you know anyone who can hook us up with an interview, send us your info.
This guy would love it.
This guy is giving 3 thumbs up right now. We're moving into our final picks. How's your list looking so far? Because mine's looking. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. I'll say that I said 4 out of 4 earlier, but it's actually 3 out of 4. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good so far.
Maybe 4 out of 4 here at the end. We'll see. I mean, I don't think there's any visual indication of either of our top favorite characters, especially not in relation to our Twitch profile pictures. My number 1 is the Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking, what the heck? Is Diddy Kong really a better character? Does he really go through as much change and as much impactful life moments as Arthur Morgan? And I'd say no. But let me take you back to a very special year in the history of gaming and mankind. 1994. Donkey Kong Country hits the scene. You're playing as the main ape himself, DK. The original arcade Donkey Kong makes an appearance as Cranky. And what? Where's DK Jr.? Oh, DK Jr. is Donkey Kong all grown up. Well, okay, there goes our sidekick, I guess, if you want to call him that from the arcade games. But what's this? We got a new chimp on the block, Diddy. He's a little monkey, and he follows around DK. He can cartwheel. He gets stuck in a barrel, and you throw the barrel at an enemy, and Diddy pops out, and that's great. That's great. So you could think, hey, he's the Luigi to DK's Mario.
You might say he can fly real high with his jetpack on. 100%.
So yeah, the Luigi to DK's Mario. But what if I say, much like Luigi himself transitioned away from a player 2 character into a player 1 character with Luigi's Mansion, Diddy Kong made the same journey himself in a fraction of the time. In fact, it was only 1 year from the time Diddy was the sidekick to the number 1 star in DKC2, Diddy's Conquest. And yes, that is a pun.
Diddy's Conquest. Pun intended. This is the first time.
So, he was an original character by Rare. And think about this, folks. Like, if this happened now, people would flip out. If a new character was introduced in a reboot of an old series, And within one game, you were playing as them. You would have Kotaku articles. You would have people flipping out online. It just would not be well received, no matter how well you try to do it. You know, we've seen that happen. We're not going to name names. We're not gonna shade anywhere. But you all know you've seen it. Proc knows those gamers.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is where we insert the Raiden from Metal Gear Solid.
Whatever.
I guess he wasn't in the first game though, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's even. Well, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that in the Metal Gear Solid.
The Metal Gear Solid episodes are coming.
But not only did Diddy become the star within one game, everybody loved him, and he just kept going from there. Diddy Kong Racing came out on the N64 and eclipsed Mario Kart 64. Maybe not in sales, but in quality, I mean, there's no comparison. Diddy Kong Racing takes the cake. It's got stackable items on the course. It has 3 different types of vehicles. Mario Kart had their item blocks. That was it.
Yeah, true.
And that's the game that DK's in. I'm saying it right here. The Rare Kart Racer was the best kart racing game on the N64, possibly even of all time.
Whoa.
We'll save that for the kart racing episode. And I stand by my words that the controls of Diddy Kong Racing DS were so intuitive and so precise, you could replace the steering wheel and pedals of an automobile with them, and I could still drift just as easily as I could when I was a child. Pimp my ride with DS controls.
Hey, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. There's countless articles about the DK theory revolution of controllers, and who knows? I just think at the time, nobody was ready to install a Sega Genesis, a Dreamcast into their car and drive it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying maybe the world's not ready yet.
So what's blast processing do?
Diddy's great. I love Diddy. He's the best. He's a cool guy. I mean, we've talked about this before, but yeah, I think he's a great person to. He's the bridge to what was at your time. You know, the kind of the preteen boy who liked video games.
Indeed. And you know, it was a little rough patch there in the mid 2000s when I became one with the DK revolution. But you know, DK, he was making strides, beating on bongo controllers, flying around on pegs. But Diddy Kong captured my heart then and there, and as well as Samus and Solid Snake appeared in Brawl. It made me smile, because when he plays his tune, he makes me smile.
All this is telling me is that the next iteration of Smash Bros., whatever comes after Smash Bros. Ultimate, if we get another game.
The Smash Bros. More Ultimate.
Yes, most ultimate, ultimatist. That just means that I think if Masahiro Sakurai is listening, which I think he must, we're going to get Arthur Morgan in the next game.
Arthur Morgan for Smash.
Out of the way.
It would just be complete. Then every single one of my characters would be in Smash Bros.
Oh man, I was trending that way too with mine until Aerith messed it up. I would have had all my characters in Smash too.
All right, Ratnado, we could never guess. He's surely not in Smash. He's surely not your profile picture on Twitch. Who is your number one?
Of course, number one is Ness.
Ness from Earthbound?
Oh, come on, you guys. Of course, it's Cloud Strife.
Everyone, come on. If you didn't guess that, I mean, what's wrong with you?
It's Cloud. Cloud Strife, my boy, my homie, my guy. Number one in my heart, always will be. No one will make that change. Slim, I don't care. Zach's fine, but Cloud's the best.
Well, everyone, you can send in your letters. It's not going to change a thing. Cloud Strife is the number one now and forever. He's the prettiest anime boy, and he's number one in Ratnado's heart. Tell us why that is.
Cloud Strife, and this really was. I really hope. I know our episode's getting long, but I really do want Slim Cognito. I know he's heard me out on this. We always have this discussion of who's better, Zach Fair or Cloud Strife, and he's strongly in the Zach Fair corner. But the thing about Cloud, and what I really like about Cloud, is that he is, again, much like Aerith, just a very real character. He's got some depth. If you know all the story beats, you know that there's a lot of stuff about him that is not what it seems. He's hey, I'm a cool mercenary guy who doesn't care about anything. But if you know a little bit more about the backstory, you know that's not true. You know he grew up as very much a very hard on his sleeve, maybe kind of weak kid, emotionally and mentally. And boy, howdy, does that ring true for me. There's something about that really resonates with me, of being a pretty hard on my sleeve kid who just kind of let the world beat me up, and and maybe I even went through some of that myself. And so he's a character definitely that's very close to my heart, of somebody who throughout his journey starts off emotionally weak, not really sure of himself, very sensitive. He tries to put on this tough act a lot of the time, but eventually he matures through it, and through the help of his friends realizes it's okay to just be him. It's okay to not be the best at everything. And man, what a great character. Great character design. He's got a Buster Sword that's iconic. The main character of basically what set off the JRPG in the US. So
remarkable. And I'm sure that journey continued to its full fruition in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
Oh boy, this has to be its own episode in and of itself. I could go for hours on this. But yeah, you're right. It got complicated. And there will be an episode about this, you guys. I swear eventually. One day I'll wear Sqat down enough that we'll talk about Advent Children.
He keeps telling me, hey, it's a video game adjacent topic. It's a movie, but it's... And I'm like, I don't know, Rad. I don't know.
Not interested.
So let us know. Give us a 5-star review about why he shouldn't do an Advent Children episode. And I'll use that as evidence for him.
Or if you want to give us a 5-star review of why we should. Just saying. But yeah, there's our list. Do we reveal what our list looked like?
I have my list right here. Number 5, we have Big the Cat. Number 4, we have Amy.
Amy, yeah.
Number 3, we have Knuckles.
Of course.
Number 2, we have Tails.
Tails, yeah.
Number 1, we have Sonic.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was reading off Plaidman 86 list.
Hey, it's a Genesis. Oh, I have that upstairs.
That is a very Plaid list.
No, my list was a meme. I couldn't guess all of Rat's top 5, and yet my meme list ended up having 2 correct in the correct spots.
Wow.
Number 5, Sephiroth. Number 4, Red 13. Number 3, Tifa.
Oh.
Number 2, Aerith. Number 1, Cloud.
Yeah, that's not bad. I thought about putting Tifa higher. That's not bad. But in the end of it, I just for the memes, it's Aerith and Cloud. I've got to put that up there, kind of just to get everyone angry too.
Imagine giving 2 characters from the same game the number 1 and 2 spot. It's unheard of.
There might be somebody else, but like I said, I couldn't think of them. All right, you ready for your list?
I'm ready to go. Let's hear it.
Number 5, Solid Snake.
Hey.
Number 4, Arthur Morgan.
Good boy.
Number 3, Samus Aran. Samus Aran.
Tomato.
Number 2, Donkey Kong.
Okay.
And number 1, Diddy.
Wow. Can you believe I didn't have Donkey Kong anywhere in my top 5? And in fact, even if we were allowing multiple Kongs on the same list, DK may not even be in my top 3.
Wow, that's very.
Am I about to lose some street cred there? Very possibly. But everyone, we'll save that for in defense of the Kong family. That episode. All right, everyone. So I'm sure we shocked and awed all of you there with our top 5 favorite video game characters. Let us know if we should do any more of these top 5s or even top 10s in the future. A little bit of a longer episode today. I'm sure all of you couldn't mind that any less, but we will be back next week with perhaps even another guest. We'll see you there, everyone. Hope you have a good one. I've been Sqat Cobbler, and as always, I've been joined by my co-host.
What's up? It's Ratnado at twitch.tv/TeamRatnado and all the socials, and I'm having a good time. I'm here. I'm with Scrollies, and it's great.
It's great. It's a great time. All right, everyone. Take it easy. We will catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.